I said I don't know what you got going on either, as far as what your
Oh,
plays are.
bro,
So
I mean, we cooking. That's what I got going on, bro.
okay,
This motherfucking college football is a problem.
let's talk about them stats, man. Them stats gotta be crazy.
Yeah, man. You are efficient. I'll tell you that. Your clip is efficient. Mine is like you could just tell I'm heating up.
There
Like
you go.
since 2 weeks
Let's get
ago,
it.
I'm heating up, man. So
That's what
we
it's.
in the lab,
Teamwork make the dream work, baby.
as always. We in the lab. We in the kitchen. Y'all getting used to the intro. Y'all know what time it is. We don't. Welcome everybody back to another episode of Money Pot Betting and the Money Pot Podcast Show. I'm your host. I'm the CEO. I'm the president. They call me Moss Money. And we got the original team back for another episode, week 5.
The five time, five time, five time, five time, five time.
For college football. Sharp taking a little bit of vacation this week. We will get him back next week, but you can catch C Sharp on all YouTube channels for all his shorts and best plays. So don't forget about that going forward. But welcome back. As always, appreciate the show is growing. So I thank y'all enough. But if you're just watching this for the first time, I got to get it out the way. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe, hit the notification button. Cost you nothing. Just listen. Just listen to what we're talking about because we are making money. We are cooking with fire and we are doing a good job keeping the flames right where we need it. Just simmer, just cook it. We'll turn it up a little bit. Sometimes we'll turn it down, but right now we are on fire and let's start it off the right way. Let's get to the recap of week 4. Start off with your boy. Let me bring this up just a little bit. Zoom in for you guys just a little bit and just show what we talking about. So you just coming in, you're like, all right, what these boys talking about? Get to it. Oh, I said your boy. I got Diddy up there. Let me get to myself. Right, I said the boy, and I'm talking about Diddy. No, I'm talking about me. This is my last week. Last week had a hell of a pretty decent week. Went 3-1 on the number. Only loss, which was crazy. Everybody lost with that team total over Oregon against Colorado. Like it just the gas got taken off. And it's funny if you watch that show, and I'll send a link. If you watch that show, my handicap on that show, I said that I wouldn't see surprise if Oregon was up 34-0. What was halftime score?
Yeah,
34-0. Right. So the handicap was spot on, but for them to only score another touchdown because it would have ended up
that's it.
42
Only
or
7
40s.
early.
Yeah. On the
They
second
tried. They
half.
went for it on fourth early in that third quarter, and after
Yeah.
that they missed it. They was like, all right, we're good.
Right. So these are our bets, and then obviously Duke was just a great bet. You guys tried to talk me off the ledge of Washington, but I stuck with my guns, and Washington held.
Nice.
I had a teaser on here. I didn't have it write it down. I just wrote down my straight bet. So I will go back and add the teaser for those who want to see what the teaser. But actually, no, it was I have it. It was Duke, Oregon, Washington State, and OU in a 3-point. I think that's a monster teaser, as they say, for a 13-point. So going back on the number right now, we are up 5 units in college football just for myself, 50%. Return on your initial investment. 13-8, man. 60 clipping over that 60%. That is cooking in the kitchen, as they say. For anybody who is more on the professional bettor side, what that means, most professional bettors only hit about 54 to 56%. Your more better ones, almost elite, are in that 58, 59. I don't claim to be a professional better, but goddamn, I can get on the court and play with them boys if they wanted to play. That's all I gotta say. But that's me. Let me call and talk to the man over here. They call him Diddy. Oh man. If I can play with the boys, this boy is starting at the 1. Like pointing fingers of where I'm going.
Mhm.
75% on the goddamn clip, 12-4. Might not be a better out here on YouTube giving free game out for free.
For free.
If you look at the numbers here, you don't see a lot of red. I see a lot of green, which means he's on that go button, go green. Oregon was the only really thing that caught him last week. He has some teasers on here too. I have to add the teasers. This is for straight bets. But FSU, obviously in a great game against Clemson. Maryland, easy cash.
Straight cash, homie.
Oregon, first half, easy cash. And then a banger, called it right out the gate. Washington State with the outright win, took the points, but with the outright win, I think you might have took the money line as well as a potential kind of sprinkle on there, but love the points out there. And oh man, that boy, what's the old boy name from Washington State? Putting in big numbers. Oh shit, what's his name? Cameron Ward. That's what it is.
Oh yeah, a
Yeah,
beast.
Cameron Ward. Heisman numbers, boy. Real under the radar. I think they lead the nation in passing yards and almost offense. He up there in touchdowns to interception ratio. I don't even got any picks, so watch out for that name. If you're for my future bettors looking at Heisman, hopefuls. If you know, I don't know what the schedule is. I didn't look ahead, but when I saw his numbers, I'm like, oh man, like that's a little dark horse there. He should get the call to New York though. But I think you had some teaser bets as win as well. I'll get those added, but just for the straight plays, I mean, what more can we say? 12-4 on the number, 75%. Y'all better take heed and listen to your boys.
Yeah,
So
please, man.
together, just me and Diddy, 25 and 15 together. What in that 67% hitting. We had Sharp to the number as well. I didn't get a chance to get Sharp's numbers in here, but I know he took a hit on OU. I know he took a hit on Oregon. He fouled us and tailed us on Maryland. He fouled and tailed me on Duke. He hit UNLV, I believe. USC, I think, didn't cover, and I think he had Minnesota team total, which didn't cover. So I want to say he might have been even 3 for 3 on the day. So his number would stick, but I will get his numbers updated. But we're all over 50%, no losing records over here. So we are still once again in the kitchen. But with the recap set, make sure, like I said, if you guys like if you like winning money, I can't reiterate again, free game. This is free game. There's no extra hit this link. There's no extra hit MoneyPot for a 25% discount. Now, smart man, businessman, you get good at something enough, you sooner or later will charge people eventually.
Mm.
But right now, this is free game each and every week, giving free daily picks. So make sure on all social media platforms, hit the subscribe, hit the like, hit the follow, wherever you're at. Get on goddamn the money train.
And listen, we put the work in for you, so all you gotta do is push and click and make the bread. So we put a lot of time in this. We do a lot of handicapping in the background. People don't see that. You just see us up here weekly, but it's a lot of work that we put in, a lot of research, a lot of knowledge and experience that we've both been through playing the game of football. So
Yes, sir.
this is our wheelhouse. We love it. This is why we're here every week. So definitely please hit that like and subscribe. Support your boys so we can continue to give you these gems every week.
So I'm like the hype man, and then he's like just the calm and cool, like, yeah, just make sure you hit that like button. It's funny. My sister was listening to us. It's like, yo, why is he so cool and mellow? Start
Ladies
laughing.
love Cool J, baby.
Yeah, why is he so cool and mellow? Like, there, amp it up a little bit. I was like, man, that's my guy, Diddy, man. That's how he navigate. That's how he move. All right, let's get to the games, man. We got some games on slate here. I got a ton of games here to talk about, and like you said, we didn't get a chance to really catch up with notes too much. So we're actually going to surprise each other a little bit on what takes and what games. I think we do have a shared game, but first best bet of the day. I'm going to start off with games I know you're already on, and I know you already know I'm on. Do you believe, Diddy? Do you believe? I'm
Oh
gonna
boy.
see if I can say it.
Do you believe that?
That's how he said.
Do you believe?
Do you
Huh?
believe?
I heard that bull junk you talking about over there. Oh, you don't
You don't
believe.
believe.
So we got USC versus Colorado. I'm sorry, USC is favorite minus 20.5. Total is 73.5. Money line is outrageous.
That's
Minus
high.
1350, minus 1350 on the number. We already know. We've seen the video. Travis Hunter trying to tell Dion, I'm not taking no for an answer. We need to get back to work. I'm coming back.
I'll read this to you today. I need to play this week. We need to get everything we can so I can get back on the field. I'm not taking no for an answer. Who you think sent me that? How did you know that?
He squashed that. No, you need to get yourself healthy and get yourself back. Xavier Weaver, I saw, was on the injury report. Don't know if he's going to play or not. We all know what Colorado is in terms of this defensive matchup, right? We all know USC is going to put up points. Question is, we felt like in Eugene and Oregon, no brakes, all gas. And that was a little bit different. This one, not 100% sure. It's in Colorado. The number I think is a little skewed. It should be probably higher. Colorado has, if not, I have to check the numbers, but the worst defense in the nation, pretty much.
It's up there.
They give up over 200 yards rushing. They give up over 300. They're giving up 500 yards of total offense probably each and every game so far.
Damn.
And USC is just going to throw. And they're going to be able to do anything that they want. And we're going to see the mismatch again of what a big Power 5 team and the top teams in the Pac-12 look like versus the lower end teams. And what Dion was saying, we need, we about 7 to 8 big dogs away from really making some noise. Just ain't today, just ain't now. With that handicap going on, this is a bad spot coming off a ass whooping, and then you got another top 5 team in the nation coming into your house. Yes, it should be hype. Yes, they should show out, but it's just football. It's just X's and O's, and your team is just not good enough. So, with that being said, my first best bet of the day, I'm not leaning to the total. USC has put up average almost 17 points in the first quarter each and every game. I'm taking the number here. I'm not $1.30 on the line here. Give me USC first quarter minus 6.5. I think I think if Colorado scores, it just won't be enough. I think USC scores twice, easily 14-7. They covered this number, I believe, 3 out of the last 4 games that they have. They've scored 20, 17, 14, and 7 in the first quarter. They missed this spread by 1 game in the last 4. Give me USC minus 6.5 first quarter.
Yeah, I really like that play. I was looking at that play closely. That's the first quarters. I usually wait till about kickoff to figure out what's happening. I try to look at the game pregame and see what the attitude is on these guys, to see what I'm going to look like for the first quarter. But I do love that bet there for sure. I like the 6.5. I think USC jumps on board really quickly. Like you said, Colorado has, if not the worst defense in college football. We're looking at statistically, defensive wise, Colorado is ranked 128th against the yards, 124th in rushing, 113 against the pass, and you're playing against the top 5 in all categories offensively in USC. This is
Yep.
going to be very familiar to what we saw this past week, if not worse. I think that Colorado will be able to put up some points on the board, but not much. Maybe they might hit 2 scores, 14, maybe 20 to stretch. But USC is going to put up at least 60 plus in this game, um, because it's the way their offenses ran. You want to talk about, uh, no breaks, all gas. That's USC. I know last week they struggled a little bit against Arizona State, I think this is a big get right game for them. It's a 12 o'clock game, national televised. I know a lot of people are going to be wanting to watch this game and see what's going on. Caleb Williams, another opportunity to submit himself into the Heisman race because he got a neighbor next door in Washington. It looks like Penix now is taking a lead in the Heisman Trophy race.
Mm,
So that's something is opportunity for him to be almost like a stat game against this defense.
yep.
So one of my best bets here is actually a couple in this game. I like the first half. We can go to the first half for
Yeah,
USC.
sure.
Are you kidding
Got
me? Are you kidding me with that number?
it.
For all my listeners that's out here, this will be a multi-unit play on this first half, 12 and a half.
Keyword
I-
multi.
Multi-unit play. And that means that it's a confident play for me for this first half. I really like USC to be putting up at least 28 points in this first half early to jump
Yeah,
out. I can't see why they
absolutely.
wouldn't, especially against that Colorado defense. There's not much you can do in a week span to prepare for this team in USC, especially coming off a big L that they took against Oregon, especially when the tape is out again. I'm sure you're going to see the same thing, quick passes. And what's happening is they're spreading out the defense and they're just running up the middle. Spreading out the defense, running up the middle. They're
Hmm.
going to hit you with a couple lateral passes, get you moving and spreading the linebackers out, and then they're going to gash you up the middle. And that's the game plan against this Colorado defense until they continue to start getting some big dogs that can hold up front, especially with a four-man front. So I like that. And then we're going to go team totals first half, please.
Oops, my bad. We got to go to team prompts. First half. Yep, 24.
Yep, I got them over 28. My book says 28 points, so I like team total over 24. I usually don't like the hook in 24 and a halves, but I think this is a 28 that, like you said, 30 plus point half for USC. I just can't see how they can stop them. Um, and I like full game also team total. I know last week we got caught on that with Oregon, but there was no reason
Yeah,
for them not to hit that. They should have hit that team total over. They
yeah, they
didn't. I
should have.
like I like USC putting up 60 here, so I see them go over
Wow.
48 easy. And it's not any detriment to Colorado and me, pushing on Colorado. They just don't have it, and that
Yeah,
bothers
exactly. Yeah. That's the problem what people don't understand. And for all my betters out there, especially the Colorado betters that, reason why this number's on low, I'm just letting you know. It ain't a Dion thing. Love Dion, especially as two black men. Love Dion and what Dion's doing and what he represents. Love his style. Love everything he's doing because he is pushing the narrative a little bit different and going against the grain. That's a different layer. We're talking football.
me. Yep.
This is all it is. Like he said already, he ain't out there playing. People think they playing him.
Hmm.
They not playing him. What do he say? I got a gold jacket already. I think I did pretty good for myself.
That
He
he
is
ain't
not
buy.
out there.
I got a
Right.
gold jacket that I ain't buy.
Right. He got a couple jackets in there. So, you know, he did like people think that they're playing Deion Sanders and they are not. They are playing the Colorado Buffaloes. So
Hmm.
we need to understand when we bet this game, that's what we're looking at. I
Yep.
want to get behind the man, right? But I'm talking about betting with my money. So if you
Yep.
want to bet with your money and do that, then fine. Don't heed our warning. We said it last week, got a lot of flack for it. We're coming right back again and tell you they just don't have enough, right? We're talking about a top 5 team in the nation in USC, Oregon. They can't mess with these boys. Not
Yep.
yet, at least. Give
Not
him
yet.
another year, 2 years, maybe two
Yep.
years. He might be
Yep.
able to do it.
Give him an opportunity to build this program, which is what he's doing. He's
That's it. Exactly.
calling out names, taking notes, which he should do as a head coach, and he's
Hmm.
preparing. You know, Colorado had a good first 3 games. Now they get into the heat of the battles, and USC is a tough game. So my strongest
Yeah.
bets here will be that first half, minus 12 and a half. That should be easy, multi-unit play. I'm really, really confident in that. But I love the team total overs. Um, and I guess you would say anything with Colorado, will they be able to score against USC? I think they will. Their defense is not as strong as far as their D backs as Oregon was. Oregon has stronger
Yeah.
D backs and was able to put some of those running the receivers and special receivers for Colorado in check. But like you said, Weaver hobbled this week.
Yeah, that's my only concern is
Yeah,
if he's
that's
out,
huge. That's
that's
huge.
just
And
ugly.
they most importantly, they can't keep Shador upright. He's been sacked the most in college football.
Yeah.
You can't live that way. You can't live on your back and expect to play against a team that's offensively a juggernaut and can put up 70 on anybody at any time. And unfortunately, that's what it's going to look like is going to happen this Saturday.
Yeah, and I even think Horn kind of came out of that game banged up too as well. So yeah, it's going to be tough sliding for them. This I would take the under here. Them putting up 21, even maybe 24 points
Yeah,
would be,
I think
would
25
be
is
I
too
think a
high.
win. I think
I think
25 is too
max
high.
they can get 20. I think they can get 20.
Yeah,
68-20, 63-20, 58-20, something like that. That's a
yeah,
good for me. That's good
yeah,
for them.
yeah. No, I completely agree. I can't. I like your bets. I just can't touch this one because we got burnt last time.
We
So
did. We did.
unless it's 40-7 in the first, in the first half. But love the first half bet. That 12
Yeah.
and a half is just way too low. That's insane. Like that 12 and a half. So what are we talking about? 30
Two
to
touchdown score.
yeah. So I mean, yeah, two touchdowns scored with 20, even 28-14. You still
Still
cover. So
clear.
yeah. So what we're saying 20, 24. I mean 28-20, 28-17.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Like I don't see that. Like who's scoring 3 times on Colorado? You know what I mean? Especially if Weaver's hurt or he's out. Get on the number early. That's why we drop these things number, man. I love it. Love the bet. So yeah, I got those locked down. All right. So continuing on with I think the early slates of the games. Um, do you have anything on do you have any straight bets on the Penn State game?
So I know you're if you're going in order, I do have a Friday game. That's one of my
All
plays.
right, so all right, let's switch. You know what? Let's switch. I was trying to play with the games that we both
Go
have
together.
slated.
Okay.
Yeah, we both have Garrett, so we get the handicaps together. But you know what? Let's go to the Friday night games because I do have a best bet for the Friday night game. And I'll take it since I got the mic here. This Utah Oregon State, man, I think there's a lot of handicappers are staying away from this game,
Yeah.
just because of the unknown. To me, this line opened up, if I'm not mistaken, Utah -1, based on the fact that Cam Rising was going to play. He is not going to play. With the bye coming next week, it does not make sense, at least to me, from a football standpoint, since you've been holding him back. You're 4-0 as of right now. Your defense is playing out of this mind, which is very underrated, which I think their defense might be a top 5 defense in the nation. Um, I believe that the freshman, or was it Nate Johnson, if I'm not mistaken, is going to continue to start for Utah. I do not think Cam Rising is going to play. This line would be a little bit different if Cam Rising was going to play. Um, but Oregon State had a tough game. Shout out to the homie. He called it last week. Washington State with the outright win, not even just a point, but the outright straight up
So
win.
easy.
Um, but I think Oregon State comes home pissed off. I think Oregon State has something to prove here to get back into the picture. They're getting a Utah team. Now, I watched some of that UCLA game. Utah was in control full go. But their offense only scored 1 touchdown. The other one came from a defensive score, special teams. So playing in Oregon State is going to be tough sledding for them to win this game, in my opinion. I think this scoring is going to be low. You can see it ticking down already. It was at 44 and a half. I believe it was at 45 and a half. It is already getting back down. I do like the under, but I like the seasoned quarterback, and help me with his name, DJ. Say his last name again.
Ongole? TJ Ongole?
Ungalea. I think it's Ungalea.
Ongolele?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, you
something like
need Sharp, right? Because he be having them names down.
that. Facts. True.
Um, Oregon State. I'm believing in the 6 year, 5 year, 7 year, whatever year senior quarterback he is. He's seen top defenses before being in Clemson. I don't think that this is going to be too big of a task for him. I don't like the matchup. People like the Oregon State matchup versus Utah, those who are Utah backers. But for me, I love the matchup of this Oregon State defense against this Utah offense. I don't think that Nate Johnson is going to have or be able to do too much against this team. He's only passed for more than 100. I don't think he's passed for over 200 yards. Yeah, now they face top talent. They face Florida. They face Baylor. Obviously, just facing UCLA. So that defense is legit. And I would tend to look to the under here, which I really might switch my bet. But for now, I'm buying the point. Give me Oregon State to win at home in a tough matchup, -2.5. I think Oregon State pulls this out. I think they come home pissed off. I think they feel like they should have won that Washington State game because it was close in overtime. But and you face the team, don't let that Washington State team putting up 38 points fool you, because that Washington State team has the best offense in the nation. So don't
Well,
let that don't let that fool you.
maybe Washington is up there. Washington with
Washington
Michael Penix
top
Jr.
three. Washington State
Yeah,
top three.
yeah, for sure. They
Top
throw it up.
three.
Yeah.
They throw it up. So, but you come into Oregon State, who don't lose at home. I had to go back almost a couple years. They typically do not lose at home. I think this is a really good spot because Oregon State is going to be pissed off and going to win. I just don't think Utah has enough here offensively to score enough. I think eventually Oregon State will score, grind them out, get down to the ball, 10, 8 play drives, dink and dunk, just taking what the defense gets them. And I think eventually they'll score. But I really do, in thinking about the under here, this smells like 21-14, 17-13 type game because Utah can't score, especially not in Oregon State on their defense.
Yeah, I do like that play. I was leaning, and I do have a lean on Oregon State. I buy a point to get under that 3.5 to probably two
Yeah,
and a
I'm
half
buying a
if I
point.
can.
Yeah, I'm right there.
Because I do like them at home. This is the first time that Oregon State's going to be playing at home with all the students back in the house. So
Yep.
that place is going to be rocking. It's already very tough for any team, no matter how good you are, to go into Oregon State and come out there unscathed, if not a very close battle. Although Utah is tough defensively, they get after you. Like I said, they're running that dual quarterback system because Cam Rising's out, and they're just not able to do enough. I think the telltale sign was that Baylor game when they went down to Baylor on a road game, and they should have lost that game against Baylor down in Texas. And I see this being very similar to Oregon State coming off a loss in a game that they feel like they probably should have won. But Washington State is just offensively too good, and you're not going to get that from Utah. So if that's the case, I love that Oregon State to stay home and win here. I will buy a point to get under 2.5. So that'll be my lean, not my best bet though.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I wanted. I feel like I'm going to add the under. You know what?
Okay.
I'm going to add the under. I'm a double dip. I'm adding
Okay.
the under as a small play. So just for those who don't know, when I bet, my unit size is $100. Right? Everybody's unit size could be different, and scales are different based on your bankroll. But when I bet, when you see units, I'm talking about $100. But I typically bet when I have a heavy bet, I'm betting just a unit because that's what's part of my bankroll. But when I'm doing something light, normal, I'm usually half a unit to $75 on scale. Um, Bigger bets for me are no more than 2 units. That's where I kind of stay mode. Now we can press because if you get hot, you should press, right? You should start compounding so you can really get ahead. Some people like to stay standard. This is my 100 unit bet. That's what I'm betting each and every week. But since I am getting a little bit more hot, I do have some money, a little bit of money to play with. I'm going to add Oregon State versus Utah under, and I'm just going to take that for a half unit play. Just so you know, when I say light, just taking a half unit play on that one. But my Oregon State bet will be 0.75 units on that play, which is kind of really more my standard. So just a clear for those who need to understand how we're betting and things like that. Just want to make sure that expectation is set of how and what are we putting on these bets, instead of just kind of give you a bet, just to give you a kind of a feel of where we're putting money at. So, and plus, I post receipts of my plays all the time. So if you ain't following, then I don't feel like I got to repeat that every week. Just get
Right.
on board the damn money train and just follow, and you'll get the flow of it.
And
Um,
I echo that for sure, 100%.
yeah.
And like you said, we started this pod. Well, you started this podcast with that in mind, as
Appreciate
far
it,
as
brother.
yeah, for sure,
Hey.
for teaching people how to how to bet, how to bankroll management. We used to have segments on
Yes,
that,
sir.
and that's one thing we want to make sure to our listeners that make sure you have a bankroll management. This stuff is so open out here; it's like the Wild West, and you can get caught in the sauce. And unfortunately, this game is not friendly, and it can leave you with pockets empty. So just
Mm,
make sure that you are focused on what you have and what you can bet on, bet responsibly. And if you can do it and you have a good enough backing to play, have fun doing it. But make sure when that limit is done that you have a composure and you have a strategy to either stop or scale back. And that's what we want to make sure we're doing here. We don't want you throwing out money because Money Moss is hot and he's telling you to do it, or myself is hot and telling you to do it. Don't spend your last on anything because we're giving you a good. Don't do it. Work your bankroll management, stack your money up, and then be able to do it if you can. So that's pretty much what we try to preach for sure.
yes, sir. Do you have a play on this one on Utah, Oregon State?
Just to lean on Oregon State with that
Oh,
point.
okay. 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 All right.
I'm hoping by Saturday that line ticks down a little bit, but I think it's going to go the opposite way. So I might miss that boat. That's why it's just a
Ye-
lean for me.
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was at 3 for a while. Now that I see 3.5,
Three and
and
a
I think
half.
it's just because one, the books need to put that hook on there, and then I think it's more than likely Cam Rising is not going to play
And one
this
other
game.
thing, I know we're still on a Wednesday and going into Saturday games. When you're talking about that northwest part of United States, the weather can be tricky sometimes. You got a lot of rain sometimes that comes in out of nowhere or scheduled for rain. So I'd like to wait till about kickoff for them Northwest games just to kind of see what's going on so I can kind of get a gauge. So for me, it's a little early to put a play in for me. But if I was, like I said, I'm leaning Oregon State to buy a point. If the line goes up to 4.5, I'm gonna stay off it.
Yeah, exactly. If the line goes up, if one, I'm buying a point anyway. So
Yeah.
I'm adding a little bit extra juice. Let me bring that up real quick just to show people what that looks like. Because it's at minus 108 right now, but I'm gonna assume it'll be a minus a dollar 30 at least, maybe even a dollar 35 for that alternate line. No, wow, it's minus 148.
That means it's gonna go to about four in a minute. What's
Yeah,
four right now? Even money. Four is even money.
minus 106.
106. Yeah, it's about to hit four in a minute.
Yeah,
So jump on it if you're gonna get it.
yeah. So all right, so don't buy the point. We'll do that live. Buy half the point. Um, if it falls on the push, it falls on the push. Um, this is too much. Or shop around. Shop
Shop
around, see
around.
if you can do it. Shop around first, see if you can find it. If this is minus 130, I think you feel okay with that. Minus 148 is getting a lot too much because now it's 1.5 to 1. So meaning you got to spend $100 to win 50, and that's just not good betting. So um we'll stick it to 3. I'm okay with the 70 back on a dollar. Um, I can live with that, but yeah, once we get to 2.5, that's too much. That's too much to do. So um, I'll shop around here while Diddy gives his next take here on the game on Friday. But for right now, we'll just leave this at buying a half a point. All right,
Cool.
all right, Diddy, you on
Yeah,
the you on?
let's go over to keep it on Friday. We're gonna go BYU.
Oh, I'm
Um,
on this game too, there, buddy. Let's see what you
yeah,
cooking. Yeah, got something.
let's get it. Let me get to my game really quickly. The only scary part about this game when I looked at it and doing some research earlier this week, the line has moved out of my favor.
Mm,
But I actually like it that way because I'm on BYU here. And
okay,
when I scouted it and was doing my handicap, BYU is at minus 1.5. And
okay.
now I'm seeing them to a +2. So I'm not sure. I'm still trying to do
Ooh,
some research on any type of
that's a big
injuries.
jump.
It is a big jump, but I didn't see anything when I was doing my research this morning of any major things that would have changed that number from opening at -3 to now almost to a +2 on the BYU side. But I'm gonna give it to you this way. I don't mind it because I was going to go money line BYU, but now I can get money line BYU on a plus side. I just like
Hmm.
BYU at home. BYU is a very tough place to play defensively. They are stout when they need to be, especially when that fan base. I'm not sure if you've ever seen some BYU games. It gets really loud in there. All that blue and white be in the stands, and the way the stands sit, they sit on top of you. So it should be echoing really loud in there for Cincinnati. Cincinnati hasn't looked good to me offensively. They may be able to put some numbers up in between the 20s and the 20, but they're not able to put the ball into the end zone besides that first week when they put up 66 against, I think, Eastern Kentucky team or something like that early on in the year. Besides that, they've been tough sledding offensively. So I don't like that. I think BYU's quarterback, Keaton Slavis, has 8 touchdowns, over 1,000 yards passing. So I think he'll be able to move the ball against Cincinnati. Do I think Cincinnati's defense is pretty tight? I do. They held Oklahoma up only to 20 points. But I
Yep.
think here in this case, I think BYU, it will be a close game, maybe 17-14. But that's the way BYU likes to fight. They play those ugly, ugly dog fights. And I think BYU at home will have the advantage here. So for me, um, a team that likes to rely on their run game should be able to control this game, control this tempo. So I like BYU on a money line since now the line has shifted to the +2. Give me BYU money line for plus money here. And I'll take a unit on that, which would be, like you say, $100 bet for me.
Yeah, and that's even money. So I like that play. I actually do have for my best bet. First, I like to take. Um, I think it's a little bit interesting. Cincinnati can run the ball. I think they're top 25, I think, in rushing, but BYU can throw the ball. So it's still going to be interesting on how they attack each other's defenses. But really, my issue is with this. Oklahoma really found the the way how to beat Cincinnati outside of Oklahoma just being a good team OU. But you stop the run, you stop them pretty much for Cincinnati.
And BYU
You
can
know,
stop the run. They're top
yeah,
top 50 in the run at 38, ranked 30th against rushing,
yeah.
only allowing 130 yards per game, a 67th. So they're right there in the middle of a pack that can cause Cincinnati some damage.
Yeah, and I actually I tried to find a number because I really liked this game and I wanted a piece of this game to kind of figure out on how to bet this one. So I got a little gem here for you, and let me know if you like this one. I'm going first half. So for my next best bet on Cincinnati versus BYU right now, BYU is plus. I'm sorry, Cincinnati is favorite -1.5. Total is 48.5. Diddy just gave his best bet of BYU money line. But for myself, I like the half and I like over this 23.5. I went back and looked at both games, all games here for both Cincinnati and BYU. Like you said, a little bit skewed. Eastern Kentucky, they beat them up 66-13. But hey, they hung 27 on Pitt. They hung, well, they got close to 30. They hung 24 on Miami. And obviously, they ran into OU and a juggernaut. But out of those 4 games, all 3 games against the spread hit this over 24 number. And then it's the same on the other side with BYU. When I went back and looked at BYU schedule, bring that up real quick here. Um, I saw they put up numbers just as well easily. Obviously, the Sam Houston game was nothing but Southern Utah, Arkansas, Kansas. Arkansas and Kansas, to me, 2 good teams. Have another similar quarterback. Obviously, their pedigree's better in Jefferson and Daniels, but you get another kind of dual threat type quarterback and Amari here in Cincinnati, which were those offenses were able to put points up on this BYU team. So obviously, the pedigree of Cincinnati is not as high as Arkansas and Kansas with some of those players. But I believe that Cincinnati is going to be able to score the ball in this game. If you look back at the last 2 games, they've gave up almost 40 points in both games. So I think Cincinnati is going to be able to put up some points here. And again, the number against the spread on this number on half, 23.5. BYU is 3-0 with this straight up against this number and 3-1 the last 4 games. So to me, I think there's going to be scoring in this game. Both teams put together are 6-2 against this number. I'm playing the number game here, not so much the matchup of teams, but believing that both these teams will be able to score in their respective strengths. Give me over 23.5. I believe both teams are scoring in each quarter. Give me a touchdown for each team in each quarter. I could see that. Or even 17-7. I get this. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Not the typical 28, 14-14, but 14-10. I'm still there. Multiple ways to get this number. I love it right there under that hook. I think the books dropped the bad line here. I really like this number at 23, 23 and a half. I think I clear this pretty easily.
Yeah, I was looking at that. Like I mean, like you said, your capping is right on point. Um, the only thing with the Cougars is that they played some pretty much high flying offenses to get to that number, like Arkansas and Kansas that
Yeah, and
kind of
Candace, yeah,
really
I saw, yeah.
pushed that number up a little bit. I think when you buckle down to BYU, they play a little nasty, a little bit more. So I mean, it depends on what Cincinnati's offense is going to do and bring to the table. Last week they brought nothing. If this follows them to altitude in Utah against BYU on one of their first road Big 12 games, it could
Hmm.
be a little difficult to start. So, but I like your capping. If you think Cincinnati can score, then I think they'll get over that 24 because BYU will definitely be able to fight. I think they were leading at halftime against Kansas. How you guys know how I feel about Kansas.
Yeah.
But they were leading that game 17-14 at half. So should be interesting. They should.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
agree with you getting over that 23.
Yeah, I think they do, and to kind of count, and just to clap back at the altitude, I think the altitude will come in the second half. That's why I took the first half, right? You know what I mean? Cincinnati's going to want to get right here. Is this what their second Big 12 matchup here for
This will
both
be
these
their
teams?
second, but it's their first conference game.
First conference game, yeah. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm still sticking with the number. I think I was looking for the BYU side, but then I started digging a little bit more, and I was like, ooh, I feel like both these offenses score, you know, and they can score, against somewhat good teams, and I think the matchup stylistically works, for both teams to kind of put up some numbers. So, like I said, give me that 23 and a half. You know what I mean? All right. So those are the Friday night lights games, as they say. Now off to full week 5, the full slate of games here. Now, since I would have to pull up some of your other games here for Saturday, but since it's staring me right in the face, I'm gonna go with my other best bet. We are Penn
Penn
State
State.
versus Northwestern. Man, the
Mm,
Penn State beat the fucking dog shit out of Iowa.
wasn't
And
expecting
Penn State quietly, not the Michigans, not the Ohio States, quietly, I'm going to say this quietly, I feel, is putting together and putting some noise together. Like they're going to be something to mess with and something to reckon with. This defense is playing absolutely outstanding. I think it shows how much confidence Franklin has in that offensive line by going on it multiple times against Iowa on fourth down. That offensive line is really, really good. They got players all across here. They're a really, really good team. And it's going to be hard for Northwestern to score on this Penn State defense. So, what I'm thinking here, what I'm going is, I think we're going to see something very similar to what we did last week. I know going to Northwestern is very tough to play in. I'm going to stay away from the number, even though I like the number.
it's a
I'm
big number.
taking the under here, and I'm buying the half a point to get me over the 46. I like the under here. I don't think Northwestern's going to be able to score, even if it becomes ugly 35-7, 38, 3. I don't think Penn State's going to put up 40 points here, but I think they'll become close. But I'm not sure Northwestern's going to score. Northwestern's team total right now is at 8.5. And when I saw that, I was like, man, 8.5 out of 46. So that means Penn State more likely is going to put up 30 to 35. And if they put up 35 and Northwestern still gets, a score in there, possibly. I just couldn't put this together. I mean, they beat the bullshit out of Iowa. They beat up on Illinois. They beat up West Virginia. I'm not even going to talk about Delaware because that's not even just foolishness to talk about. So yeah, man, give me the Nitty Lions here at under 46.5. I'll buy the half point just to, just for myself. But I really like the 27. Really do. I really
Yeah.
like the 27. But give me the under here at 46. I'll buy the half a point just to protect the bet a little bit, just in case some foolishness happens. But I don't think I'll need it. I think Penn State rolls here. 30-13, 33, maybe even 33-13, right? Right there on the number at 46. So give me the under here at Penn State.
Yeah, I got them in a teaser for the under, so a 10-point teaser. So I got the under
Okay.
56. Just to just as a three-team teaser for totals. So
That's
I do
so
like that
easy.
underplay. That's why I look for easy, so I can throw it down, and
Mm,
under
Yeah.
56 is where I was at with it. So I like that play for sure.
All right. Let's go back to the slate. 12 o'clock games. You know what? I think I do have your little cheat sheet here with me. Uh, we already talked about USC. No, you don't got any 12 o'clock, other 12
Nope, just
o'clock
on some
games.
teaser plays. I got some teaser plays later on
Yeah,
in the
just some
show.
teaser plays. Yeah.
Only thing I
All right,
got left
go ahead.
is the 6:30 Oregon.
All right, let's go right to it. Next best bet. We'll go to that Oregon game because I think some of my other plays are teaser bets. So you said 6:30. There we go. Oregon, Stanford. Damn, same number. -27, total 61. Talk
Yep,
to me.
and this is going to be very similar to my first take when I'm talking about USC Colorado. I'm taking the same approach. I'm looking at the first half for Oregon in the first half. Um, 14 and a half. Stanford is not good. Stanford don't know who their quarterback is. They're still trying to figure it out in week 5 of who they can who they can go to at the quarterback position. You look at
Hmm.
opposition at Oregon, um, they know exactly who they are. And as coach says, they out here scrapping for wins. I think they got national championship on their mind. I think Bo Nix
Hmm.
got a Heisman Trophy potential on his mind. And I think they're doing everything they can do to make sure they get to that. There's another, so I like first half here, minus the 14 and a half. Once again, I think it's be very similar to that Colorado game last week, possibly putting up 30, 28 points in the first half. And Stanford struggles at quarterback and cannot move the ball whatsoever, no matter who they are playing. This should be an easy cover here, just as confident as I was with the USC Colorado game. Another player prop in this game that you want to look at that I've been following lately, um, and I'll give it to you in 1 second. As long as that number looks nice, you want to take a look at Oregon's wide receiver, Troy Franklin. He is a beast. He's Nick's go-to receiver. I cashed on him last week as I was doing some research right before the game. Look at his yards over or catches over. He's Bo Nix's top target right now so far. He has 25 catches for 418 yards. Um, Besides him and Bucky Irving at the running back position, you can probably get some of their props too. This should be a good get right game for these guys. We called them when we were playing ball. These are stat games, right?
Mm.
This is what we like to come up here like, hey, all week you have practice, especially if you're on the offensive
Yeah.
side of the ball. You talking to QB like, yo, give me that rock, baby, this week. This that week. You know what I mean? I gotta
Right.
get my
Right.
stats in.
Yeah.
So
Facts.
this is, hopefully draft stat padding for Oregon playing against a very, very bad Stanford team um, to be my next play.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, I really like the play here. Like you said, Stanford is it's absolutely terrible. I just wonder with so much emotion coming off that Colorado game for Oregon and so much microscope and eyes, does that energy level tail down a little bit? You know what I mean?
Yeah, probably, but the problem is Stanford's just that bad.
Yeah, they're just that bad. Yeah.
Simply
Yeah. They're
just that
getting
bad.
they're getting on the front of the wrong train right now.
Hmm.
Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah. All right. Nice bet there. Let's keep it moving, man. We got more for y'all. Like I said, if you guys are like what you're hearing, you're watching the whole show, you're not jumping around, and you like it from start to finish, man, make sure, man, go ahead and hit that like, hit that subscribe. And if not, go back to the channel and look at the other quick hitters that we have. We're going to break all these up to make sure that we're targeting the games that what you want. And in the comments, drop what plays you want us to take a look at. If you have any more plays, I'm always in the comments. I'm replying to all the comments I see. So make sure you guys do leave those comments in there so we can definitely take a look and get you back answers to any of your betting questions that you might have. All right. A lot of these other games I do have in teasers. Oh, no. I have a 3:30 game. Ooh, marquee game. Kansas, Texas,
Big game.
minus 16.5. Now, I think in the heat of Texas, it's going to be 98, 95 down there in Texas, man. It's going to be crazy loud. Texas, consensually, people have the best team in the nation. You got Daniels coming here. This is his Heisman moment, right? This is going to be his Heisman moment that he needs to go to Texas and start putting up some points here. I like the over, but I found the gem here in this Texas and Kansas matchup. Last 3 games. Now I know Robinson was there. I know Elgin. I forget how to say Elgin was there, or Elgin, or I forget the quarterback's name. That was there before. So obviously a little bit different teams now in terms of explosion, but scheme still the same. Those Longhorns are still serious. They put up 50 points, bro, in the last 3 games. Straight. 50 points against Kansas, the last 3 games. And I'm getting them at 40 at home. Oh, shit, it even went down. I had it at 40. It's at 38.5. Oh, yeah. This will be a 2-unit play for me. Love Texas here, getting a 38.5. I saw it at 40. I was looking at this yesterday. I saw it at 40.5. It has now dropped 2 points. They are not going to be able to stop Texas from scoring all game. Sign me up for 30.5. Shit. You know what, bro?
Like that.
So you know what,
It's
bro?
hard because I haven't, I've been on Kansas all year, so
Yeah. I feel you. Hold up, let me finish this. I feel you. I know what you're gonna say. Yeah. 3 units dropping on them. I'm dropping my biggest bet of the year right now. My
Dang.
biggest bet of single bet. I'm so confident in this Texas team dropping 40 points. They are not going to be able to slow them down. Now, Kansas might be able to score. I'm not saying Kansas won't be able to score, but in Texas, bro, like 37, 34, 31, 38, man, come on, man. They put up 50 on them 3 games in a row, bro. 3 games in a row? What we talk about? All brakes, no gas. I'm sorry, all gas, no brakes. Let me change that up. Yeah, give me Texas to put up 38 points, man. I might even wait. If that number keeps tricking down like that, like who hit that? Bro, I promise you, it was 40. It was 40.5. I don't drop to 38. That's crazy. Like, is this the Kansas get right game? Kansas going to wake up here? Because I think the game flow works for me either way. If
it's going to be high scoring.
If Texas blows them out,
they won't.
They're going to score over 40.
They won't blow them out though.
If Kansas stays in the game, it's going to be over 40.
It's going to be a fight.
Yeah, it's going to be a fight. For maybe a quarter.
Damn, you killing my dogs. I like them Jayhawks. I like the Jayhawks.
I like them Jayhawks.
I got him in a 4-point teaser. So I got him. I got him
up
to 29 points.
He's going to get up for this game. I believe they're going to. He's going to. Daniels is going to get up for this game. But has he played like amazingly well since he's been back? I thought maybe a game or two to get game right. He came back. Like, but I mean, he's not up there in those statistical numbers that we've seen. Like, who they played? BYU last game? Was it BYU?
No, they played BYU.
Yeah, they played BYU. Yeah, And he only what I think I watched him like he only threw for like 150 yards. Now they scored. They still put up
Yeah,
38
put up
points.
38 points.
You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. Like travel, like they're gonna be ready for Texas. You know what I mean? But they're not going to get two defensive scores like they did last week. So if they go down quick, oh, just keep throwing. Go ahead, keep throwing, keep scoring. I love this number, 38.5. Come on, man. That's a big play for me.
That's
That's crazy. 38.5, and they scored 50 the last 3 years on Kansas. And Daniels has been there all three. He been in fucking college for 8 years. You know
well,
what I
he was
mean?
hurt. He was hurt when they played last year. That's when they went downhill. Remember, he got hurt. They were 6-0,
Yeah,
and then he got hurt, and then
that's
after
right.
that,
Yeah, and they lost like 9 in a row, right? They lost them
yeah,
all almost in
mhm.
there. Yeah,
Like he is
yeah, I
he is
remember
the game changer for them.
for sure.
I mean, I like your bet. I like your bet. I think it's going to be high scoring here. I think they're going to be going back and forth. I think it'll be similar to 2 years ago when it was like 57-56. Obviously, not that much, but
Right.
I
Yeah.
I do think they'll both be getting up there in points and probably like more like your 50 to 38, 50. I like Kansas here, and especially in my 13-point teaser, I got them up to 29 points and a half. So I'm gonna take
Oh,
that in my teaser.
you'll be sick if they lose 60-30.
Yeah, I hope not. I don't see that happening because I believe in the young fella, so I think he'll be
Well,
able
you
to move
don't
the
believe
ball.
in Texas either. You said that already.
I don't. I really
You
don't.
you don't. That's the other take too.
I
You're not a believer in this
I'm
Texas
not.
team.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I think they're okay. Texas ain't been good since what? Colt McCoy? Keep it
Yeah, I
100.
guess.
Keep it 100.
I
They ain't been
guess.
good since Colt
Yeah.
McCoy. Colt McCoy is just got cut by whoever got cut by. He's like a 10-year vet in, in the NFL.
Yeah. No,
Uh,
I agree.
all of a
But I
sudden, one
mean,
year, I'm not gonna be like, oh,
Quinn Ewers has got to show up today because the Manning boys behind him. So
he got to show up every
this
day.
is this is it for him. He got 1 year. then you got to go, bro.
How much you
So
think they gave Manning? What's his NIL deal? That junk gotta be crazy.
oh yeah,
Like,
I
how
don't
do you
know,
end
but
up in Texas?
I don't know.
Money.
I, I don't know.
Like,
Yeah,
your whole family went to Ole Miss, Tennessee. How do you not like, how
yeah.
do you end up in Texas?
Hey, they did something right. They paid somebody right, or Manning's name's going somewhere in that building,
Somewhere, maybe a library,
somewhere.
maybe an athletic department.
Somewhere on the field or
It
somewhere
just don't
Manning's
make
going when he's
sense.
all done. Yeah. So, all right, like I said, that's probably my best bet of all of them. My top bet is that
I
Texas,
like it though.
and and then I got it. I saw it at 40. It's a good thing I didn't put that bet in, man. I would have been tight. 2 points.
Well, you can
I would have
hammer it
been.
again. Hammer it again.
Yeah. I
Hey,
would have
once you
been
go
real tight.
get the alternate joint. You confident?
Yeah. I would have been real tight. All right. Let's keep the show moving on. I mean, let's keep the train riding. So I think Oregon State, BYU. We already talked about Penn State, USC. Yeah, Texas. Yeah, Texas was my last straight play.
Okay.
Do you have any more straight plays on the slate?
I do. I got one in question right now. I'll I got two right now, one in question. So we're gonna go 7 p.m. Troy versus Georgia State.
Okay,
Um,
I remember
it's
that.
just one of them games I've been looking at. I've watched the full game over the last 2 weeks with Georgia State. I really like the way they play football. Very, very balanced. Can run the ball very, very well. Defense is stout,
You said
especially
7
against the
p.m.
run. This is a 7 p.m. game. Troy versus Georgia State. Their defense is very stout against the run, which Troy likes to favor their run. Um,
You
uh,
mean 8 o'clock game? I was
is
about
it
to
eight
say maybe
o'clock?
7 o'clock. Yeah, it's 8 o'clock.
Sorry, sorry about that.
Yeah, go ahead.
And you're getting a short line here at home, the Georgia State at home. I think
Yeah,
it's going to be the same camaraderie. A lot of players going, a lot of students going to be in the building. It's a big game for them. Um, it's just something I'm watching Troy. I just don't get that defensive feel like I used to get. Troy used to be really, really good defensively, and
Hmm.
I'm not seeing that this year. I'm seeing them being a little leakage in that back area for them, and I think they can be exposed by Georgia State because Georgia State gonna be able to put up some points, and I just don't think they'll be able to keep up with Georgia State. So on the short line here, this will be definitely a unit play for me with Georgia State. Um, I just think they're the better team. I like what I've seen the past 2 weeks, and I like how they're moving forward with the game of football, playing against a team that's really heavy against the run and they can stop the run. So give me Georgia State here at -1.5 as a 1 unit play.
All right.
Then we're going to follow that up with the 10 p.m. Washington, Arizona. I'm following the blueprint as I had all week this week,
Hmm.
just like the Oregon and Stanford and USC and Colorado. We're going to take Washington first half against Arizona. Washington is probably the most underrated football team right now at NCAA. Nobody's really talking about Washington when they really got the the Heisman leading candidate and Penix Jr. out there that's been doing whatever he wants to do on that football field, dominating early and often. And I think the same thing's going to happen here in Arizona. And mind you, I took Arizona in a teaser last week. So for me to go the opposite way, that because I do like this Arizona team, I think they're a little ways away, but I think they're a fighting team. I just think Washington is really going to put the smackdown on a lot of these teams right now, and preparing for opportunity for a playoff run too. Um, so I like Washington here in the first half.
Yeah, I just want to
Uh,
see what all your first half bets for my bet small, one big folks. I wanted to see what that a parlay would be because I kind of like that. That's not bad. Almost 6 to 1.
oh yeah, 14 and a half, 10 and a half. Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Uh, I was just wondering because all the I mean like just the takes how bad Arizona, Colorado, and Stanford is. Like who's the worst team out of these three? Colorado
The worst.
or
I don't want to say
Stanford?
worst team. Stanford's the worst team. The
Okay.
worst matchup would be Colorado's defense versus USC's
USC's
offense.
offense. Yeah.
Right. Arizona's probably the toughest one because they fight a little bit more. They're a little scrappy, and you're playing at Arizona. But I think Washington's going to handle business just like they handled business when they went to Michigan State. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like they're just outmatched Arizona on all levels, defensively, offensively, special teams, and
Yeah.
definitely at the quarterback position. So that's
Yeah.
why I love that.
Yeah. I was just wondering what that play would be. Like it. All right. Cool.
And the last game I want to talk to you about, man, it's a really, really big game on the slate. I think game day is going to be there. I think one of the first times game day has been football game day anyway, has been
Hmm.
in Duke. There's going to be Notre Dame versus
Oh,
Duke.
that North. Yeah, that North. I'm in North. Notre Dame Duke game. Yeah. What you
Yeah,
got for
going to
me? Tell me
Durham.
about your Dukers.
Yeah, man. This is
That's a
I
good game
follow
right here.
Duke,
I
man.
like
I
this.
kind of put the pot on Duke early on in the season. Duke's been fighting, man. They are feisty, feisty defensive bunch. They're very, very stingy defensively.
Hmm.
You've seen what they did to Clemson. You see how they followed that up in their following week. Now they got Notre Dame coming off a loss, an upsetting loss, a coaching error loss. So
Yeah.
this is big, man. This is why I'm a little. I just want to kind of discuss this with you a little bit. 5.5.
Talk to me.
I
Yeah,
do
man. That
like
that
five
stuck
and a
out to
half.
me. That really stuck out to me. So here's the question. I think is the important question you have to do for the line adjustment. If Notre Dame would have won against Ohio State, what's this line? 7.5. It has to be a touchdown. If they beat Ohio State, has to be a touchdown. No
Yeah,
way. No
maybe
way.
6.5.
No way they hang under a touchdown after beating Ohio State.
Yeah, but I think ultimately, really, that game they beat Ohio State. They did beat Ohio State. They really did.
What the win loss don't say they did.
I know, but if you look at the game, they really did
I
lose.
remember the game. It was a fluke.
So I'm trying to think like, okay, if Notre Dame beat Ohio State, then yeah, I can see the line being 7.5. But really, the
Yeah,
game
that's what
was.
I'm saying.
But I don't know. I just don't think this. I don't think the loss, the way they lost, really indicates this line, because I think Notre Dame really had that game in control, and unfortunately gave it up at the last second.
I don't think
So
this game's gonna be that close.
Really? You think Notre Dame comes in there and handles business?
I think so. I mean, it's hard to emotionally get up for such a down because it was a huge down. Like that changes everything for playoffs. Everything goes in your head. But I don't, I don't think Duke is going to be able to hang with a Notre Dame team coming off a loss like that. Like this, Notre Dame should beat them by at least a touchdown. It wouldn't surprise me if they beat them by 10 points, like double-digit points. I think this but playing in Duke is tough. You know what I mean? Like it's that, and it's the spot is there for Duke too. Like it's almost like you picking up the pieces a little bit from a team that just lost a heartbreaker. And you put yourself on the map to pick up those pieces too. But I mean, Duke hasn't really got tested since what beating Clemson in the opening round, but they played what Lafayette, UConn last week. They ain't play nobody yet. And now you got a Notre Dame team, seasoned, veteran. Hartman's playing, out of his mind. Who's the running back? Esteman? Leading the league leading the nation in rushing with that offensive line, way that defense plays in swarms. I really like Notre Dame here, man. I really like Notre Dame here.
Yeah,
I
man.
think
I think we're gonna be on
I
opposite end of this. I like first half under. I believe in Duke's defense. They get after it. They're not giving up points. So that's my problem. I love Hartman. I think Hartman's a good quarterback. I'm rooting
mhm.
for Freeman, a coach for Notre Dame.
Yeah.
But I think Duke's defense is the real deal. I don't care who's
Mm.
coming in that building. I think they're going to attack, and I think they're going to be licking their chops, just like they did when Clemson came in the building for Notre Dame to
Mhm.
come in the building.
But we
And
but we know Clemson ain't good though. That's the thing.
I I agree. I agree.
Like Clemson ain't nowhere close to what Clemson used to be.
No, but Clemson showed me a little more last week when they played Florida State. I thought Florida State was going to dominate that game. They didn't.
Yeah.
But I'm saying is
Yeah.
Notre Dame is going into Durham for the first time, and I believe in this Duke's defense. So that's my only thing. I don't know. Obviously, my lean would be Duke might plus the 5.5 at home with the home dog. I think defensively they're going to be able to
Mhm.
stay in this game, and that quarterback lives every week with a a chip on his shoulder. He tells his mom, "Tell me I suck, so I can come out here and smack somebody
Yeah.
around." And he
Well,
been
guess
doing
what? His mom gonna tell him, "I told you you sucked."
it. But give me look at that total. Look at that total first half.
All right, bring that up,
I think that will be my play. Yeah.
and
Give
then
me
we'll get the
give me a
teasers.
unit on the first half total under 25.5. I'm adding that to my book right now.
I actually really like that play. I think that's a decent play. Um, because I think from a game flow theory, if Notre Dame does beat them up a little bit, it's only going to be like 13-3. I don't think Notre Dame puts up 17 in the first half. Maybe 14-10, 14-7, 14-9.
Yep.
Like the way Duke plays offensively, I just don't think Leonard's going to be able to run. Like they rely a lot on him, um, his dual threat ability, and I just don't think they're going to be able to do it. He's going to have to beat them from the pocket, and I don't think that's the way to beat. I don't think they can beat Notre Dame like that. Um, and they just don't have like Ohio State was different. Ohio State has the studs, man. They got obviously the probably the best player in the nation, right? In Harrison. And then I forget the other Ubaka was it not Ubaka? I forget
Yeah.
how you yeah,
I mean,
Ubaka.
yeah, Ohio State offensively is fun.
Henderson. Like they got speed, Ohio State McCord is, McCord. But I mean, Notre Dame did enough to win that game. They did enough to win that game, and they probably should have won that game. Um, like you said, a little, blooper on the end there. Um, yeah, and I think my thing is with the look ahead. I wonder what the look ahead was. Actually, I can probably look that up real quick here. Um, but I'm thinking the look ahead was probably 7.5, almost 8. and it dropped because of that loss, I think that's a bad line there. And
So
you know what? You know what? Because you my man, give me Notre Dame, bro.
we're gonna
Give
go
me
head to
Notre.
head.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do it, bro. We're gonna have to do it because you
My
got
last analysis on this game, Duke is stingy on defense. You know how I feel about their defense. And I think, like you said, offensively, Duke is heavy on the run and can run the football. And that's the only weakest part of Notre Dame's defense is them against the run. They're kind of in between. They're not really tight against the run. So I think you're going to see some success for Duke and be able to hang in there. If you look statistically, you can see
but is
Duke's
that because
off.
of Henderson last week though?
I'm just saying as far as Notre Dame's defense against the
I
run.
know. Yeah, against the run. Like, I mean, they beat up on Navy, but Navy runs the triple option, right?
Yeah.
So all they do is run, and then they beat up on who was it? Tennessee State, which ain't nobody, so we can just
Yeah.
skip that, right? And then who was next? Was Ohio State? Here, let me bring up the schedule. NC State. Here it is. NC State.
Yes.
Um,
Mhm.
yeah. So I mean, outside of Ohio State, nobody's rushed for over 100 yards on them. Maybe Navy collectively.
Right. I'm just saying if Duke can have any success, it will be in the run game because they can run the football, which means
All
it tells
right.
me they're stout up front. That's all. This is to hang in. I didn't say they're
Mm,
gonna win.
yeah.
I just like the 5.5, but we're gonna
I mean,
go head to head. We
it
go head
don't
to
matter,
head.
bro. You already know what happened when we go head to head.
That's
Like,
true. I don't have a good record, but the way I've been running
yeah,
this year, I
yeah.
don't know.
I don't want to do it to you, brother.
You know what
I
I
don't
mean?
like
I
taking
don't
money out of
know.
my guys' pockets, man. But it's shared money on the back end, so you know we'll get it right. But give me Notre Dame, man. Let's go. Notre Dame. Get these bums out of here. These Dukers.
Yeah,
My
but I like the
opinions.
first half under. That'd
Yeah,
be a play for
yeah.
me. I added that to the book.
All right, I know you got a couple more teasers than I do, so run them down. Let's get it.
Yeah, all right, we'll keep it quick. I got a two-team teaser for the Thursday night games. That's tomorrow. We're gonna go 7:30 Mid Tennessee University at Western Kentucky. They're
Yep.
at -6. Western Kentucky's just a better team. They got a better quarterback. Middle Tennessee State, I'm sorry, Middle Tennessee University should have some problems against that offense. Um, I like Washington Kentucky to win this game. We're going to get them down to +1, and we're going to marry them with a team I've been really following on a low. Jacksonville State. I had them last week. I
Mm,
told you last week late. I said, watch out, Jacksonville State. As I was doing my little research going on to Saturday. They're playing Sam Houston, who I thought defensively was really, really stout. But man,
hmm
did they show me something last week that they aren't as stout as I thought they were. So give me Jacksonville State going away to Sam Houston at +1 too. So a two-team teaser pretty much for them to win Jacksonville State and Western Kentucky tomorrow for some early action. Let's get on the book and the positive side early in the week on Thursday.
I like it.
We're going to go to the Saturday card, three-team totals. Um, three-team totals teaser. That's a 10-point teaser. We're gonna go Florida versus Kentucky at Kentucky. This game is usually a battle within the trenches. I think both teams really have solid defenses. They like to run the football. Um, so I think it's going to be kind of played inside the box a little bit. The total is at 46. We're going to tease them to under 56 points. We're going to put them with that Penn State Northwestern game that we both agreed and we liked that the under 46 was there. I'm going to add 10 more points to that. That's going to be under 56 with that teaser. And the last game we're going to go was a game we just spoke about, Notre Dame and Duke. We're going to go under
Mm,
61 and a half. That line was set at 51 and a half. We're going to go under 61 and a half. So that's a three-team teaser, all team total unders. The Florida UK, Penn State Northwestern, Notre Dame Duke, all unders in a 10-point teaser. The next teaser we have is a four-team, 13-point super teaser that we like to do. We're going to start this one off with Texas A&M at Arkansas +6. We're going to bring Arkansas to 20 points. Just think Arkansas can keep up. I just think they're a team that's going to be able to
yeah, they
keep up. They're
can.
not going to lose the
Yeah.
fight. You're at home. You got Jefferson, who's a running dual threat quarterback who can run and pass. I know Texas A&M is pretty tough. They can beat you really quickly early, but I think Arkansas will be able to keep up in this game and give me 20 points all day. I'll take that. There's Arkansas plus 20 points. We're going to go Kansas at Texas. We spoke about this earlier at Texas. We're going to go 29 points and a half. Give me Kansas plus 29 points and a half. I think Kansas also be able to keep up within that 30 mark. So I'm going to marry Arkansas with Kansas plus 21, 29 and a half. We're going to go to another 3:30 game at Indiana at Maryland. You know I love Maryland. Maryland, we're going to get them down to a win versus Indiana. Indiana's on the
Yep.
road. Indiana's usually a feisty bunch, but I think Maryland's going to be too much offensively. Tagovailoa has been doing his thing since he's been there. I think he continues that ride. Give me to a win at home versus Indiana. And we're going to take that with Missouri at Vanderbilt. We know that Vandy's been struggling over the past few years. Missouri's been hot, undefeated. Big win last few weeks ago against Kansas State. They followed that up with another victory last week. I think that train continues to go, and they'll continue to be undefeated. Missouri at Vanderbilt, get that down to a pick. So we're going to go a 4-team teaser 13 point. That's Arkansas plus 20, Kansas plus 29 and a half, Maryland -1, pretty much a win, and Missouri to a pick.
Yep. Let's
And
keep it
then
rolling.
my very last one, 14 teaser, same process, 13-point super teaser. We're going to go Clemson at Q's. That means Clemson is on the road after a tough loss last week against Florida State at home. Now you got to go to the Superdome, not the Superdome. Forgot what dome that is. But up in Syracuse, they're +7. We're gonna get them up to 20 points. Syracuse always plays Clemson pretty tough for some reason. Even when Clemson was dominant, Syracuse always gave him fits. I like Syracuse here, even possibly even money line. You might get some good
Ooh.
juice on a value at Syracuse money line. I really, really do like Syracuse money line here. There's a lot of revenge factors here for Syracuse to want to come up here and make a statement. So let me just take a quick look really quickly.
GMA Wireless Dome.
Who is?
Syracuse, the GMA Wireless Dome.
Yes, but it used to be called something else for some reason. Looking at the head-to-head matchups over the past few years with Clemson, even if Clemson's at the highest, you had 27-21 Clemson, 17-14 Clemson, 47-21 Clemson, which was probably their biggest one in 2020, and then 41-6 right before then, and when Syracuse was in the dirt. But over the last 3 years, they've been pretty much keeping it within that point range. So give me 20 points for Syracuse at home. We're going to go there with Arizona State and playing Cal at Cal. Arizona State is getting 12 points. We're going to bring it up to 25 and a half. Cal showed me a lot last week. I thought Cal was going to be able to stand a little bit stronger. They were not able to stand strong at all. Arizona State, a young team, young coach out there, got these boys fighting a little bit. Not a good team, but I think they can stay within 25 points against a pretty marginal dual quarterback system in Cal. Give me 25 points there. And then we're going to go Michigan playing Nebraska. I like Michigan going down to 4.5. I think Michigan wins by 2 scores here against Nebraska. I think Matt Rule is still trying to get it together and figure out who his team is in Nebraska and get that identity right. But in the meantime, Michigan will chug along with the victory, with probably a 2-score victory against Nebraska. And then lastly, Georgia playing Auburn. I'd like them to win this game. So I'm going to bring them down from 14.5 to -1.5 to play Auburn. Georgia's just a dominant team. They're better than Auburn. Could be a little tricky though, but I like them to win the game. That's going to be a 1-unit play for the 14 teaser 13 point. Syracuse +20, Arizona +25.5, Michigan -4.5, and Georgia -1.5.
Yeah, let me update that one because I have Clemson. You want Syracuse, my bad. For that 13-point teaser. There we go. That's better. Now yours is for those watching. Diddy gave his numbers, so this is just DraftKings book. So Diddy might have another number earlier line from another book that he might be using to get this 13 points. So just make sure you guys are checking your numbers to marry up if you're following the play and tailing the play. All right, I like them all. I'm gonna go through mine. I have two. I'm doing two 13.4 14 leg teasers, monster teaser, super teaser, whatever you want to call them. Kind of marrying almost everything what Diddy said here. A lot of these ones we just have the same teams, but just kind of a different mashup. So my first one is going to be a totals one. Took this one from Sharp last week. I liked his thought process and the way he did this. When we got USC and Colorado, most people would tease down the total, but I think we tease up and take the under here. No way this game gets over 80 points in my book. Even if they score 60, they got to score 20 20 something points, and I don't think that's going to happen. We already talked about Colorado might not even scoring 20 points. So let me tease that up and get that over the key number. It's not even a key number, just get that over the number of 80. This is a four-teamer again. I'm going to tease up. We already talked about a little bit Penn State, Northwestern, teasing that up um, to it would be 56. I'm sorry, 59 points. No way Northwestern kind of stays suit here. And I said this last week. I've been watching this Tulane team. I said it last week that I really like Tulane here. Well, I really like this Tulane team. And what I really like is this goddamn defense. This defense likes to fly around. They have multiple first rounders on that defensive line. I don't think UAB can keep up with this Tulane team. I don't think UAB can even score a lot of points with this UAB team at home in Tulane. Give me the total. I'm taking the under again. I think Tulane wins this game easily, but I don't think UAB can score here. And then I got one more taking something out of your page. I'm going a little bit different here. Instead of taking the side of Michigan, which I do like your side, I think they beat up on Nebraska. I like the total again. I'm teasing up the total. I don't think these are all top defenses that I just don't think the other side of the ball can score here. When we look at this number, I tease that up to 50, 52. Michigan hasn't scored more than 40 points in a game yet, right? They just haven't. So, and it's the way they play, and they've dominated almost everybody they've been against 31-7, 35-3. Nebraska's going to have a tough time scoring. So, those are the numbers. USC versus Colorado, 86.5. Penn State versus Northwestern, 59. UAB versus Tulane, 71. Michigan versus Nebraska, under 52, 13.14 monster teaser. All right. That's my first side. My second side, let me clear all this out. Really kind of similar to what Diddy was saying in some of these other plays. They showed me a little something with Maryland. So I'll take Maryland just to win the game. Like you said, Indiana is scrappy, but I don't think they'll win. I think Maryland wins the game. Also, another team that you guys put me on too sharp. Love this play here. Hawaii's coming off a very tough win, surprising win late. Hawaii don't win much. So whenever they win, it's an exciting time for them. So now they have to travel back over to UNLV. Give me UNLV just to win the game. Now, it's kind of going against earlier what I said, but I'm double dipping in the game and playing the other side. Give me the Dukers teasing those guys out, right, to 18 and a half. Even though North, I keep saying North for some reason, Notre Dame, I believe, could win this game by 2 scores. I do not think they're going to blow them out by more than 3 scores. I don't think they score more than 17 points in winning this game. Like you said, that Duke defense is for real, is solid. So I expect them to keep this game close. But give me the Dukers plus 18.5, the Blue Devils. And I think you already touched it already. Even though playing Georgia and playing Auburn in Auburn could be tough sledding, I don't think they're going to beat Georgia. I just don't. I don't think they're going to beat Georgia. So give me Georgia Bulldogs just to win the game. This is another 13 point teaser. I really like this one. Maryland to win. UNLV gaining the points now at +2. Duke 18.5 and Georgia Bulldogs to win at -1.
So I think I'm gonna tell this pick here. I probably would change out the Georgia one because I already have that on another ticket. I don't
Yeah.
like to put a lot of stuff on the same ticket. But let me
Yeah.
ask you
Yeah.
a
Man.
question. That first
Yeah.
ticket you got on your 14 teaser, that Colorado USC, right?
Yeah.
What do you think is stronger to go under in that Penn State Northwestern game or go under in this game? That
Ooh.
might be something to think about. You're right. Like I think we both said like, ain't no way Northwestern's going to be able to score under. They ain't getting 13 extra points. That means you're almost getting to Penn State Northwestern under 60, close to. Versus a team that you know that can by himself, USC can put up 60. And if so happens that Colorado can put up 20, you're right there at the 80 mark.
So I do expect Colorado to come out a little bit better. Like
So,
they're going to know what to expect against these
so you think they
powerhouse
can get
Pac-12
20?
teams. No,
Okay.
but I expect the game plan to be a little bit different. Now, whether they can execute is a different story. I think you see a little bit more running.
From who?
Um,
From who?
I,
Colorado?
I think
No,
so. I
if you expecting that, get off that bet right now. If that's part of your planning and handicapping, you on the wrong side. You know that. They don't run.
Yeah, I do. Well, I'm hoping they do. But what I'm also thinking is, I I think that real in all honesty, I think that total for USC is high. I
Okay.
don't think they score over 50 points.
Okay.
I don't think they score over 50 points, and I know for sure Colorado ain't scoring 30. So I think it's going to be similar to what we saw in Oregon, like 45-10,
Okay.
45-17. You know what I
So
mean?
you're more confident in that than Northwestern somehow getting to a
No,
60
no, 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 no. Now
point
that I
game.
think about talking out loud, I'm more confident in the Penn State play for
Yeah,
sure.
we got that's something that would be something I would switch with that. Because I'm with you with the confidence of I just can't see Penn State getting into unless Penn State is 53, you know what I mean? Unless they just completely
Yeah,
blowing them out and here comes a backdoor last touchdown. I
yeah.
can see that happening more in this Colorado game than I can see it in the Penn State game. So that's just something I would probably switch out at that first ticket. That's about it. Just to think about.
Okay. All right. I'll make a note of that. I'll make a note of that with that one. All right. So those are the best bets, and those are the plays of the week for week 5 college football. And again, appreciate everybody staying with us, going through the plays with us, seeing how we break it down. This is what we do. We giving out James. You already saw the recap. You already saw the record. We're gonna have another banging week this week. Make sure if you're not, again, go ahead follow. Go ahead, hit the subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification. Know when we go live. So when we drop these videos, you absolutely know what's going on so you get on the best side of the number. Moving forward, bankroll management is always key. So I'll make sure to drop another video just reiterating what that is and what that looks like and how you can scale from your own bankroll. If Diddy don't got nothing else, that's the guy. That's the homie. It's just myself, Moss Money. This is MoneyPot Betting. Happy hunting, happy betting. Let's get another good week. Let's go.